Can I really get a deal on a probate property purchase? We get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring the leading probate real estate team in all of California. I'm Brendan Mohr, realtor and certified probate and trust specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And I'm Bill Heyman. I'm a licensed California professional fiduciary. I'm also a registered and bonded California legal document assistant specializing in probate work, as well as I am a licensed California real estate broker.
Now, please like this video, subscribe right now. Don't overpay. Want a fast, easy, and no-cost probate service? We have a team in every county in California where we help people save thousands of dollars and eliminate headaches through our one-of-a-kind cost savings, probate administration service, and real estate listing combo. If it's in California and real estate needs to be sold, you may qualify. So reach out, even if you started probate with someone else or on your own. Our info is in the About section on this channel. We love your calls, texts, emails, and comments. Now let's get into it. So can I really get a deal on a probate property purchase? A lot of times people will come to me and say, hey, I'm looking for probate properties. Can you help me find a probate property? Or I hear you work in probate. They think that there's going to be a great deal and somewhat of a misconception. We'll get into that. So I guess the short answer is what?
Well, the short answer is maybe you can get a deal.
Yeah.
What you have to realize is that when a probate property is being sold through probate, and most of the time it's through what we call full authority, the property is going to be listed on the MLS, just like any other property out there. Now, when it goes on the MLS, of course, it's exposed to the market, exposed to all these buyers. You're going to end up 9 times out of 10 with the market, whatever the market dictates the price is. That's what it's going to sell for. So the odds are, if you are looking for a probate property on the MLS that's listed like a regular property, you're probably not going to get a deal because you're going to have other buyers who are going to come in at market value. And why would the heirs of the estate accept a low offer when they've got these other offers at market value? In addition, the court has oversight. The court is in a full authority. They're not overseeing the confirmation of the sale directly, but the court has an interest to make sure that, hey, the property's been exposed to the MLS and the market, and the estate's getting a market value price. So the answer when the property goes on the MLS is exposed just as a regular property, you're probably not going to get a deal on it. However, there may be some other situations where you may be able to get a deal. Brendan, maybe you can talk about one or two.
Yeah, I mean, people have to understand the function of probate is essentially so you don't get a great deal. I mean, that's kind of what it's there for. Not necessarily that, but function of probate is really to work in the best interest of the estate. Right. So typically, whoever is appointed the personal representative, administrator, or executor in probate, their job is to get the most proceeds. There's a number of ways that that's done. Now, if all heirs or beneficiaries are in agreement to an under market offer, maybe off market, maybe you found something that's going through probate and made an offer, and all of them are in agreement in writing, then maybe you're going to get that. Now, it's not going to be that common that you can get that, and if it's on the MLS, it's very unlikely you're going to get that. But that would maybe be the way to do it, because when you're selling a house in probate, the administrator, they have to take that offer and they have to give notice to all the other heirs, and all the other heirs have to be in agreement on that. I would say that sometimes people do find houses that need to go through probate or are going through probate. They have not talked to a realtor yet. Maybe it's a very sort of experienced investor in a way that is able to manipulate the situation. Maybe a lot of times people are a little bit naive about what it takes to sell a house. Maybe if the house needs repairs, it can't be sold. It's maybe something they think, some sort of misconceptions. And the heirs end up getting scared into thinking this is the easiest way. Maybe could have gotten more for it. That may be about
to kind of follow up a little bit with what you're saying. I have seen situations where a investor or someone who's gets involved with real estate trading, they will come in and talk to the heirs and the administrator and say, hey, look, we'll give you all cash. You won't have to pay any real estate commissions, closing costs, etc. And again, going to what you said about some people being naive, they say, hey, this is a great offer. We don't have to pay real estate commissions or closing costs. So they accept the offer, which is, I don't know, maybe it's 100,000 below market. Whereas if they put it on the market and sold it, they would have gotten a much higher sales price, even with real estate commissions and closing costs. So I have seen situations like that.
Oh yeah. In fact, if somebody were to tell me that they're going to sell off market to an investor, that's code for selling way under market value.
Yep.
I mean, I can think of, gosh, there's multiple situations, but there was one where it was in Sacramento, and the gentleman we were working with said he got an offer. It was well under what we thought what market value was. And we told him what our strategy would be to sell the house, and he ended up netting 50,000 more than what he would have netted.
Yeah.
And that's what it all really comes down to. People focus on price sometimes, but not so much net, net proceeds. But for the purpose of buying a house, I guess that piece of advice goes against what you're trying to do. You're trying to get a deal on it.
Yeah, and another situation where you may be able to get a deal on a probate home is, and this does happen, we've had quite a few properties like this, where the probate home is an extreme fixer in just horrible shape. And when that happens, really the only route to selling the property is going to be through some investor who's willing to go in and put all the money in, fix it, rehabilitate it, and flip it. In situations like that, yeah, you may be able to get a deal on it because it is an extreme fixer. But again, all the heirs or beneficiaries have to agree. They all have to sign off on it. And if they will, yeah, you can probably get a deal on in a situation like that.
Yeah, it takes some scouring to find that. Maybe you have a relationship with somebody who works in probate quite a bit. But in that particular case, just knowing from my perspective as a realtor, I mean, I have people that I go to in those situations where if it looks like it's a dangerous property, we don't want the general public and agents stomping through stuff like that. There's a number of conditions that a house can be in for it to be dangerous.
You bring up an excellent point, because and been involved in a couple of situations like that. But if you have a probate home that has a lot of health and safety issues, like Brendan said, you don't want somebody walking through there, because if they do and something happens, they can sue the estate. They can sue the estate. So.
And there are situations like that. But this goes back to, if you're looking to get a deal, I don't contact the bottom feeders. I don't contact the people who are putting in the offers that are ridiculously low. I'm still trying to push the market, so I'm contacting the investors who I know are going to be serious about their price and serious about closing.
Well, there's another situation as well where you may be able to get a deal, and that's if you've got a probate property that is in a distressed situation that's facing an imminent foreclosure, whether it's a foreclosure on the first position, second position, whatever. But if the estate is in a bind and needs a quick sale because, for example, they've got a foreclosure sale date in 2 weeks or a week, yeah, you may be able to get a deal and a discount because they need to unload that property quickly. So that's another possibility of obtaining a deal on a probate home.
Yeah, now there's one way that is possible, and that is through the court confirmation process. So usually it's a home that was sold through limited authority, but not always. It could have been a home that was sold with a seller with full authority and an heir objected to the price, which that might actually be a better situation, because one that's been sold through limited authority likely went on the MLS and perhaps actually already achieved market value. Whereas one that was in full authority and they're objected, they usually object because they thought the price was too low. Not always it's not always advisable. Sometimes they have a skewed sense of value, but that may be an opportunity for you to come in and bid. But the opening bid is going to be about 5% higher than the offer in contract. But it is an opportunity, especially in an up market, when you say.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about the court confirmation sales is that they are published in the newspaper. And if I recall correctly, I believe the sales price is in there. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it is. If it's not, you can, however, find out easily by looking up in the court file and look at the file documents, and you'll see what the price is. And that'll alert you, then you can do your comparative analysis. And that'll alert you as to whether can I come in and bid at roughly 5% over and get a reasonably good deal. And if so, show up at the hearing and bid.
Yeah, it is possible. And when I mention an up market, it's because it takes a while to go from the accepted offer to the court confirmation hearing. It could be several months depending on the court calendar. You may be in a market at that time where maybe the home was originally put in a contract in a slower time of year. December is a really slow time of year. And maybe the home was purchased for, let's say, $500,000. And then it's going through the spring months and the court confirmation hearing is in April. And you're seeing the market is hot, it's fired up. And you think that home would probably sell for, $580,000, $600,000. So maybe you're in there at $550,000 and get that house for a little bit less. Yeah, that could be a way to do it.
Sure.
But yeah, I'd say that you can get a deal in probate. Once it's on the MLS, probably not. It's opened up to every other buyer out there.
Yeah, you really have to be willing to work hard to look for potential probate properties that you may be able to get a deal on. It takes some work.
Yeah, but you need to know what the probate process is, because really that home can't transfer title without going through certain steps. And if you want to learn more about the probate process, please watch this next video. It's called California Probate Sales Explained in 5 minutes. It's roughly a 5-minute video. It will be linked right over my head.